We normally start people's careers at the beginning when we start talking at the beginning. I actually want to start at the end. Is it true that you still haven't picked up your championship ring?
No, so that was a fucking huge, crazy thing that caught wind and then became an urban legend. So you know me, Jay, that my career I took in less money to win. And now looking back on it, I was an idiot, but at the time, like I wanted to win. You know what I mean? I took a lot less money to win. And so when I finally, like I said, that last situation in Sacramento where I'd signed a 3-year deal, fuck it, I'm retired king. We just got a new arena. Go back to my hometown. I want to run for mayor out there eventually. I was like, it'll be cool. Just ride off into the sunset. Maybe make a playoffs one time. Be cool. When they trade Boogie, and I'm talking to Vlad, like, Vlad, I'm too old to start over. You know, we did a situation where I was able to, you know, cut ties there and go to Golden State. So I went to Golden State because KD hurt his knee. And I was sitting at home and, you know, come up the freeway and come play for us. I'm like, hell yeah. So I instantly went, like my first game, I played like 25 minutes. So I'm in that mix, in that culture, and it's a dream come true. I mean, that's probably some of the most selfless basketball I've ever played in my life. So it was a blast. But the game KD came back, the worst ankle sprain of my life, nearly broke my ankle. So I was, and this is maybe a week before the playoffs, so I don't really get to play in the playoffs. So my whole thought process is like, I've earned everything my entire career. Like nothing's been given to me. So I feel like, you know, I didn't get to play. I didn't have to guard LeBron. I didn't have to guard Kawhi. I didn't have to guard Dame and CJ. But if I was healthy, I would have. So I was just kind of from a standpoint of, although my body of work throughout my career, I probably earned a ring, but I just felt like in that Warrior situation, like I had front row seats to the greatest show on hardwood. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, I went back after I retired and they gave me a ring, and I actually got rings for the twins too. So the ring came in a big ass box. So they did a pregame. I went back to my seat and I was talking, you know, Raymond Ritter, shout out my guy with the Warriors. I'm like, I'm not going to carry this big ass box around. Can I put it somewhere? So we locked it in a room. And then when I was ready to go, the person that had the key wasn't there. And I was living in LA at the time. So the next morning, it's at the arena. It's not at the practice field. I can't get in there and get it. So I just ended up fucking missing it, like not catching no one, not getting it for maybe like a year and a half, 2 years. And then all of a sudden I hear a story where Matt Barnes, I felt like I didn't deserve it. Some people say Matt Barnes didn't want the ring. I'm like, that's hella disrespectful to Golden State. They gave me an opportunity. I appreciate the opportunity. Just the way it had happened with the dude that had the key to unlock the door wasn't there. So fast forward a year and a half later, they presented to me on the jump. The final year of the jump, someone from the Bay drove it down and they surprised me on the jump and gave it to me. So I do have the ring, but there was a huge misconception on that I didn't want the ring or whatever made it.
As a teammate again, and I said this earlier, you were second to none. And I think one of the reasons you were such a great teammate is because you were so invested in the people you were playing basketball with. And I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was the last day of the regular season in 2015, and Ballmer had us over to Mastro's, and we were watching the last games because the West 2 through 6 was all jumbled up, so we were kind of figuring out what our seed was going to be. So we were watching the games, and we all went around. Well, not everybody, but the guys who played went around and talked about, you know, what this playoff run was going to mean. And I said something to the effect of, you know, we all want to win a championship. The truth is I want to win with you motherfuckers, like, because I felt so close to you guys. And when I got to the end and I was still without a ring, my thought process about playing another year, another 2 years, and maybe not playing in the playoffs and maybe just going and ring chasing and not being really part of a group and not going to battle in the same way that I did earlier in my career, I thought to myself, I don't know that I would be as fulfilled. And I'm curious what that ring means to you now.
It's crazy because I feel I don't ever want to come off as disrespectful because I had a tremendous opportunity with a great group of guys to get a ring that has my name on it. My kids got a ring. But to your point, like I was with those guys post All-Star break. So half a season, you know what I mean? So they were always our rivals. You know, we had like a small low-key rival when we played for the Clippers. So, you know, to me, I always feel like that Lob City team probably missed out. And I wouldn't go as far as saying, to me, I think we were one of the best teams in the league and we should have run a ring, but I definitely think we should have had a few finals appearances just at the bare minimum. So but to your point, it would have meant so much more with guys that we really, we played together 3-4 years, like really built something. And I always took so much pride playing for the Clippers because I got a chance to play for the Lakers, and there's nothing like playing for the Lakers. But I was always kind of the underdog. So I kind of took pride in, helping a piece of shit team kind of find an identity, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, they were always the doormats of the league, and I really took pride on being a part of the Clipper teams. And remember, I was telling someone the other day, like, we took pride. Remember how much we enjoyed beating the shit out of the Lakers? Like, we tried to we beat them by the most anyone's ever beat the Lakers. Like, we used to destroy the Lakers in that little hallway rivalry. And I just took a lot of pride because, like I said, obviously it's always going to be a Laker town, but it's cool being a part of something with a group of guys you really love when you're kind of trying to make a name. And we were trying to make a name for a whole franchise. So again, I was appreciative of the opportunity with Golden State, but like I said, it didn't just for a whole backstory to kind of understand. Like, I kind of felt like if we would have got a ring with the Clippers, it would have been a lot more meaningful.